I'm Austin Langford. I write scripts, so being here is like a really big thing for me.
Right on.
My first question
Because it means that you're currently not writing a script. Where'd you bring your laptop with you?
No, I have a notepad, but I left it in the car.
Right on.
No, my first question is, could I borrow a dollar?
Yes.
Cool. So,
What's your second question?
when can I get that?
That was a good
Story.
fumble. Let me see if I got a buck on me.
Uh-oh.
Would you take a Disney dollar?
It depends on which character's on it.
It's Pluto and he's sucking Mickey's dick.
Then my friend
I
17
bought it
would
from
want
some
that.
guy at the fucking Ripley's, believe it or not. I don't know if it's real.
My
Yeah,
friend
here's your buck.
17 would want that. My second question, though.
Here's your fucking dollar. You asked me when you could get it, and the answer is now. And you get 2 questions, and that's it. I rolled it up tight so it can go like this. Excellent catch. Way to earn, man. Clever. Give it up to the first person that asks for money. That's always a smart thing. However, rein back your applause for only asking for $1.
Okay, my second question is, when you first came out with Clerks, how did you come up with Jay and Silent Bob? Were you like, okay, we're gonna have stoners, they're gonna sit in front of a convenience store, and one of them isn't gonna say shit? What were you thinking? How
I
did you
didn't
come up
say
with
it
that?
nearly that passionately. One of them isn't going to say shit. And people are like, all right, cool, Alex, here's your one. No, I mean it. I like Jason Mewes a lot. He's been a friend of mine for a few years at that point. I just always thought he was funny, so I said, somebody should put you in a fucking movie, man. And that somebody wound up being me when I got interested in making flicks. I was like, I'm going to put you in a movie. So that character is written based on Jason Mewes when he was like age 13 to 16. That is pretty much who the character of Jay is. Pretty much just a facsimile of Jason Mewes from that era. And I wanted Mewes to be able to, the Jay character rather, to say the things he said, but I didn't want him to get into conversations with people and shit, so I wanted to have somebody there so he was talking to somebody, but not somebody who would go back and forth with him, because I wanted him to fucking shine and whatnot, and just say the shit that I wanted him to say. So I said, I'm going to throw his muscle next to him, and you know, that'll be the dude who doesn't say anything, so that way Jay rather can say whatever he wants, and fucking, he'll be talking to somebody so he won't seem like he's crazy just standing there talking to himself. So that's where those two came from and shit. And I didn't intend to play Silent Bob. I wanted to play Randall, which is how Randall's got all the best jokes. But the closer we got to shooting, I was like, I ain't gonna be able to memorize all this dialogue. So I looked around for what was still kind of there that I could pull off, and there was Silent Bob, you know. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do Silent Bob. Because I thought I'd look good visually standing next to Jason. Like he's thin, always moving and always yammering, and Silent Bob is the exact opposite on all fronts. So it just kind of worked out in a weird way, and then led to recurring appearances, and that was more out of like, I liked Jason, I thought he was funny, and nobody seemed to like acknowledge him in the Clerks reviews, you know. And when that movie came out, it was a real art house release, never played on more than 50 screens at any given moment. The reviews would talk about like the backstory and shit like that, or Dante and Randall, Jeff and Brian, but they would never talk about Jay and Silent Bob. They would reference Silent Bob to say like, and the director has a small role as Silent Bob.
They were always my favorites.
Yeah, mine too. The critics wouldn't talk about him shit. And I always thought there was one piece, I think a review in People magazine, where it said, that critics said, you want to find the rock that Jason Mewes crawled out from under and make sure there's nothing else like him under it or something. And Mewes was like, is that a good review? I was like, I think it is. I think it's a stellar review. So I brought the characters back because like nobody seemed to notice them in Clerks, and I was like, well, fuck it, I'll put them in Mallrats as well. And Dogma, I'd written Dogma before Mallrats even. But partly because I think Mewes is funny and he makes me laugh, and partly because if I keep Mewes employed, that's less money that he borrows from me. So we kept bringing the dude back, and if I'm bringing him back, I gotta bring Silent Bob back, so we kept doing it and shit like that. And eventually, they became what they are today. The weirdest feeling, like, the first time we screened Mallrats, the San Diego Comic Con, was like an audience, 300 people. Jay and Silent Bob pop up on the screen for the first time, and the audience erupts in applause and laughter. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck happened? Nobody paid attention to these characters were. And it was because the movie went to video, and that's when it found, Clerks went to video finally and found its real audience and whatnot. It wasn't, you know, the highbrow crowd and shit. Because if you went to see Clerks in an art house theater when it was first released, the audience did not look like this in the least. They looked like, the audience looked like it was made up of my parents. Like a lot of people that read the New York Times and shit, they're like, I hear this movie's clever. And then it caught on with film school kids theatrically, so you'd have a room full of angry NYU kids going, this fucking sucks. He's breaking all the rules, man. Like a friend of mine, his friend went to NYU to Tisch, and they said that they went on a school outing to see Clerks at the Angelica in 1994. And the teacher was just like, everything he's doing, you shouldn't do. And one of the kids was smart enough to be like, yeah, but he got his movie picked up, so, and the teacher failed. So it wasn't, when we show up in Mallrats at that screening in San Diego, and the audience seems to recognize him, I was kind of blown away, and that's when I realized, like, oh shit, the audience found that movie on video and whatnot, and that's where they kind of took off.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.